Okay, well, thank you everyone for attending today's webinar about TVision's add-ons. Just before we start the webinar, just a few housekeeping rules. All attendees will be on mute and will remain for the whole webinar. Please use the question box to ask any questions related to the topic, and all questions will be answered after the demo. If we run out of time, or if your question requires a longer answer, then the question will be answered offline directly. Please use the chat box for questions related to the webinar, such as if you can't hear the audio or if the presenter is going too fast. But please note that the link to view the webinar recording will be sent to all attendees after the demo. So this is our monthly webinar on key areas of NAV and Business Central, and you can sign up for as many as you like on our website. I'll show you a list of upcoming webinars at the end of this session. We'll also send out regular emails to register for the next one. So my name is Dityana, also known as Deets, and I'll be facilitating the demo today. I'm an account manager here at TVision. I've worked here for 2.5 years, and my background is 18 years in sales, marketing, and partner management. Ian will be doing the demo today, and he's a support consultant at TVision. Ian has been working at TVision for 4 years and has been using NAV and Business Central since 2000. So today's webinar is about TVision's add-ons. We've created these add-ons to assist our clients with repetitive processes that many finance functions carry out regularly. We'll be talking to you about the most popular add-ons and how they could benefit your business. In the demo, Ian will be focusing on the most popular add-ons and highlighting their functionality, how they would be valuable to your business, and how they integrate with Business Central. So, these are the 5 top things we're going to show you today about TVision's add-ons. Firstly, we'd like to discuss how we can help you improve your efficiency. GL Excel Import Journal. So, this is one of our most popular add-ons. It allows finance users to create journal entries in Business Central from Excel. And this is one of the add-ons that Ian will be demoing. Intercompany synchronization. When an organisation has multiple companies in Business Central, ensuring data integrity between companies is time-consuming and error-prone. This add-on automatically copies and synchronises data from one company into another company, or even multiple companies. This removes the need to manually re-enter, copy data, or spend time ensuring you're working off the same data. Credit Control Notepad. This helps to enhance your existing credit control processes. In particular, it shows another way to look at customers from an age debt point of view. The credit controller can have specialised role centre dashboard view with the required tasks, status and analysis, all on the welcome screen. It enables you to put in notes and assign tasks against specific invoices or customer. This means that you will know exactly which of your team is chasing which client, about what, the action that should be taken, and whose responsibility it is. Next slide, please. Reporting and corporate policy requirements. GL reconciliation. So this can be helpful if the finance team are required to have a reconciliation process for the general ledger. This functionality is standard in Business Central, but anyone still using NAV may find this add-on useful. Embedding this process in NAV removes the reliance on keeping Excel files and mistakenly overwriting or not viewing the latest version. This add-on has dedicated worksheets that enable users to carry out the reconciliation. From an auditing perspective, this helps you see where each GL reconciliation posted is recorded for auditing reasons. Reversing a reconciliation is possible, and this reversal would be recorded for auditing purposes. Currency on GL entries. So this add-on helps clients by adding information regarding the source currency, amount and exchange rate of the transaction. This is an alternative way of holding currencies outside of setting currency rates in the system. Standard Business Central only records the amount in base currency on the general ledger entries. So this add-on will display additional information to allow reporting and reconciliation for journals posted in multi-currency. It is possible to report on this, and it is useful as an alternative means to viewing certain currency transactions. It is worth noting that this add-on applies to journals only. Okay, divisional dimensions. If you want to run multiple companies and make sure the general ledger entry is balanced by one of the global dimensions, this is a must-have add-on. Your divisions or departments may require their own P&L, balance sheet, or other finance reports, and this tool will ensure that you always balance and are accurate in your chart of accounts. Most importantly, it ensures accuracy in your finance reporting. We'd advise you to implement this add-on at the start of the company's financial year or at the beginning of the project. Table dimensions. This is a feature that will automatically create a dimension value for key records in the system and then associate them together. These include jobs, customers, vendors, items, resources, etc. You can automatically create a setup task, which means there is less reliance on a specific team to have to do this. This is particularly useful for jobs, resourcing and distribution companies. So it is also useful when there are internal reports which report on specific dimensions. We have found it's good to have a conversation about this during the implementation phase to understand your internal reporting requirements. Just to also mention, this is a default in Bevica, so our drink solution. Next slide, please. Okay, must-haves. BACS export file. This add-on allows the use of a payment file to be used into several GB banks and is recommended for companies that make many payments. So if you need to make multiple payments, it is far quicker using the BACS export file than doing the process manually. It is a simple and faster way of creating a payment file, saving your finance team a considerable amount of time in processing the payment within your bank portal. For example, the purchase ledger journal generates the payments required. So this information is then used to make the multiple payments to banks as required. Document layouts. Whilst many reports and customer-facing document templates come as standard, we have developed and customized a number of reports. Our document template report packs include everything a customer may need, and we can develop others upon request. Bank import statement. We have this as an additional setup, not as an actual add-on with a subscription, but many of our clients have this set up. Next slide, please. Practical details about the add-ons. So all our add-ons are straightforward to implement and can be purchased and set up quickly for a reasonable additional fee for NAV, Business Central on-premise and Business Central SaaS clients. If you would like more information about this, please do contact me after the webinar. Next slide. So how to learn more. If you would like to learn more about anything you see today, you can view a full list of our add-ons with a description and how it can benefit your business on our website. So before the demo, where I pass over back to Ian, we would like to have a quick poll just to understand which process would benefit your business. And you can choose more than one answer. So I'm going to launch the poll now. So if you wouldn't mind spinning your answers. One moment. There you go. Hopefully you all can see that. Create journal entries in Business Central from Excel, automatically synchronizing data to multiple companies, enhance the credit control process, run multiple companies in one Business Central company, and making multiple or single bank payments. In a few more seconds. Okay. Excellent. Okay, I think we've got an answer from everyone, and that's interesting. Looks like running multiple companies in one Business Central company and making multiple bank payments is, oh, and also enhancing the credit control process. So thank you very much for that, taking part in the poll. Just close that and I will pass over to Ian.
Okay, hi guys. I do apologise to anyone who was watching live for the technical hitch we've just had, but we're picking up now and we're going to record the demo. So what you're seeing in front of you is the default Business Central SaaS screen hosted by Microsoft, so it's not a fake screen. And this is what it looks like out of the box. But you can still install extensions. So let's just have a quick look and see what extensions I've installed on this system. So I click on my setup and extensions, and let's have a look at my extensions. And on this system, you'll notice there's a lot of Microsoft extensions here. That's your base application, integration with email, some of the artificial intelligence stuff down here. But you'll also see there are a few TVision technology extensions that I've added here. Credit Control Notepad, I'm going to show you just now. The Excel import to GL that Dietz promised I would show you. And for the BACS file export, I've chosen HSBC. I've installed this one. There's also this distribution costs management thing here, which is not installed. So basically, I've just downloaded the source file already, and while I'm doing the demo, just to show you how easy this is, I'm just going to click on this. I'm going to say next, I'm going to agree to the license, and I'm going to install. So this add-on is installing itself while we're actually doing this demo. I'm going to go back out to my home screen, and once I'm on my home screen, you can see this is my default screen, but I've installed that Credit Control Notepad. I haven't done any of the setup that goes with Credit Control Notepad yet. So let me log on as if I was a credit controller. So as part of the extension, you get a new role center, which I'm going to use. And for those of you who've watched these presentations in the past, it was in the middle of last year, June, July, I think, when we did a full presentation on Credit Control Notepad. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on how to use it here. You can always go back and look at that one. But we get this new role center, which is geared around a credit controller. It's not going to do much for me yet because there's still the setup that needs to happen. But this one is a relatively easy setup to do. I need to Credit Control Notepad setup. I need to click in here. And once I go in, there's only 4 options I need to take. It gives me some default values. I can choose, am I happy with these default values? I think I'm going to turn on recording of interactions, and I'm going to leave that at 7 days, and I'm happy to use these defaults here. Offer setup is completed. The other setup is, who are the credit controllers on my system? And basically, I click on here, and I get to populate this list with who are my credit controllers who can use this functionality. On this system, I'm the only user, so I'm going to choose myself. I need to choose which salesperson I'm associated with, and what's my default aging period. 30 days. I could make that 1 month if I use calendar months, but I'll leave it at 30 days. I'm quite happy with that. And that is the setup finished. If you had a list of 5 or 6 credit controllers, you'd have to put each one in. But that's pretty much the setup done. What would come next would be some training on how to use the functionality that's involved here. And as I said, we did do the demo June last year, I think it was. You can go and you can look and you can look through that. But if we installed it for you, there would be a couple of hours training with your credit control team so they can actually use this functionality, record interactions, record conversations that you're having with your customers, promises of payment that they make, how to record those. and how to assign tasks to people in your credit control team. So when Dietz says that these are easy and quick to install, she wasn't joking. I mean, this took me about 15 minutes to do the initial installation and 10 minutes to do this setup. The bulk of the time will be on training users how to actually use this functionality. So that's a credit control notepad, and that's probably one of our more popular add-ons. And from the poll, when we asked, that was one of the more popular answers that you guys gave as something that would add value to your business. So it's still a popular option. What I also had there was that HSBC bank export. Now, anybody who's used the BEX file export, you know how simple this is. So basically, you go to your payment journals, and from within a payment journal, you follow your normal processes to suggest vendor payments, whatever it might be that you do internally. You get your list of payments. I've just prepared a journal here with one vendor. And pretty much I hit the bank button and I hit export. And there's nothing to export. And the reason that there's nothing to export is because there's still a little bit of setup that needs to be done. So one of those pieces of setup is on the bank accounts themselves. And if we get to my bank accounts, and this is a payment from my checking account. So within this bank's setup screen, I need to tell the system when I'm exporting a payment, I am using the HSBC format, which has been installed as part of the extension. And apart from that, I also need to go to my vendors and I need to set up their bank accounts, which hasn't been set up for this vendor, which is why it gave me the message, there's nothing to export. So on this one, it's very quick to install. It's very quick to do the setup for the bank account to use the HSBC format, but you need to be going through your vendors and making sure that you have their bank account details loaded so that when they come through here, it can be pulled in and exported as part of the file. So obviously there's a lot more time going into setup for this one, but then once the setup is done, your end users need very little training. It's pretty much click on bank, click on export, save the file, and give it to the guy who interfaces with the bank. So it's 20, 30 minutes of training for the end user, but a little bit more time goes into that setup and configuration. The final one which I installed was the GL import, and Dietz mentioned this is probably one of our most popular add-ons. And it comes with a very interesting question as well. So if I go to my general journals, and when I'm within a general journal, and here's an empty general journal, and you say to me, but Ian, why would we need a tool to import from Excel when Business Central has a tool to edit in Excel, which I've shown you before in previous demos? And that is a fantastic question. What if you have a situation where you have a separate sales system or a separate purchasing system, and at the end of the day, you can download from it a CSV file or an Excel file of these are all the transactions that were posted in your sales system or in your purchasing system. That cannot access the edit in Excel button here, but it can create an Excel file. And once you've got that Excel file, you could come along and say, oh, it would be nice to import that Excel file into Business Central so that I can post it, or into Nav for that matter. And what if another scenario, which I've experienced before, you're working for a large company and at the entrance to your building, there's a lady who answers the door and answers the telephone. She doesn't access Nav, she doesn't access Business Central at all. But part of her job is to dish out the stationery. And at the end of every week or every month, she prepares a file to reallocate the stationery to the different departments that took it. She can prepare an Excel spreadsheet, but she can't use this edit in Excel function because she has no access to my Business Central system. But she can send me the file. And this is what I'm going to pretend I have done on this system. So in the background somewhere, I have an Excel spreadsheet that my lady at reception has prepared for me. And as quickly as it opens, just so you can see what it looks like. Now my Excel is going to be slow after the earlier problems. Here we are. So it's a very simple spreadsheet, and my receptionist, she's just filled in the amount of stationery she's dished out and how much has gone to each individual department. She saves this file and she sends it to me. It's very simple. There aren't many columns on this file, but let's assume she's sent it through to me. I can then come to my general journal, and in the process, I've got a button to import from Excel. Let's see, which Excel file do I want to import? Pretty straightforward. I can choose a file. And I choose that exact file we were just looking at. And which journal do I want to put it in? My general monthly journal and a mapping code. Now let's pretend I don't have any mapping codes set up. I'm going to create a new one from scratch, and I'm going to call it my, it's my monthly mapping file. And I'll just give it a quick description. And I say, okay. Okay. And now it's looked at my Excel spreadsheet and it says, oh, it's found some columns. Would you like me to try and map them automatically? Yes, please. And it shows me what it's come up with. So in the Excel spreadsheet, it found these columns. It's mapped them to these columns in my journal. It found this column department. It's not quite sure what to do with it. So I can choose which one of my fields I want to map it to. And in here somewhere should be a department code. There it is. So because it didn't use the word department code, it didn't know to map it to department code. But I've done that mapping. I say, okay, it saves the mapping. So next time it will remember, do I want to import? Yes, please. And it has created my journal with exactly the lines that my receptionist gave me. And you'll notice, I've got a lot more columns here that my receptionist didn't have. That import journal, it doesn't care. My columns are in a different order. And the Excel spreadsheet had amount and then department at the end. Here I've got department and then amount. That mapping rearranges the columns. It handles all of this for us. So this is a fantastic tool if you've got somebody who gives you a file that you want to import. It could be your external accountants who want to post some adjustments at your end. They can manually type up a journal in Excel, send it through to you and say, please post this. And instead of you retyping it, you could use your import from Excel and import the journal that they would like you to post. One of the things I was planning to do, but with our little hiccups, it slipped my memory. I was going to, I did start reinstalling that distribution costs. So if I go and have a look at my extension management screen, and extensions, and if I could spell properly, it would help. Extension management. And if we have a look at our extensions, we can see it is now installed. If I manage and I look at my deployment status, it will even confirm that it's installed. So in the time that I've been speaking, which is about 10 minutes, this distribution cost management has installed itself. That's how quick it is. And there is a little bit of setup that goes with this. And this is quite interesting. This is a brand new extension that we released pretty much a week ago. So Dietz isn't even aware of this one yet. It will be making its way to our website very soon. But basically, it allows you to set up shipping costs and distribution costs to charge your customers based on which haulier you use or which distribution agent you use to deliver, which postcode that customer is living in, and you can set rates for, if it's this quantity, the distribution costs are so much, if it's that quantity, and that can be done by volume or quantity, whichever it is. There is obviously a bit of setup that goes with this one. Distribution costs setup, where you have to, this one is based on quantity. I could choose to do it by volume or by weight. And I can set up my shipping agents and my item charges by region. And again, that's how quick it is to install. The setup, we can help you with the setup. We provide the training, and then you can carry on from there. You can train other users, and you can tweak that setup yourself, because we don't just do it for you. We help you do it yourself so that you can carry on in future if you need to make changes. Now, because we're not live, I don't have any live questions coming through, but Dietz has prepared 2 pretend questions. Dietz, what are the questions?
So the questions are, how often do the add-ons get updated by TVision if you have an automatic wave update with Business Central SaaS?
Okay, so that's an excellent question, Dietz. So if you're on-prem or if you're on Nav, you don't need to update anything. It's pretty much static. But with Business Central SaaS, every 6 months, your system automatically updates. Microsoft do that for you as part of your subscription. A few months before that goes live, Microsoft give us a preview where we upload all of our extensions and we test them extensively to make sure that they do still work, so that when it's applied to your system, we guarantee that the extension will still work for you. And obviously, because you're paying monthly for your extensions, we provide support for them. So if there is any glitch at all that you discover once it has gone live, something we didn't test perhaps, then we cover the support for that and we will fix it for free as part of that support agreement. What was the second question, Dietz?
How long does it normally take to set up and train someone for the intercompany synchronization add-on?
Okay, intercompany synchronization, that one's a little bit complicated. And that is where you can choose that if I set up or change or delete or modify a general ledger account in company A, all my other companies, B, C, D, and E, that propagates through so that they stay exactly the same. And if I set up a new vendor in company C, that vendor gets copied around, or maybe a customer or a dimension. You can choose which ones move around. So there is a little bit of training that goes with that. There's a bit of setup that goes with it as well. And I think for the intercompany synchronization, we quote about 7 hours for the setup and training, which, as you can see, it's a little bit more intense than the GL import. It's a lot more intense than the BEX export. And it's similar, I suppose, to the credit control notepad. But I think that is probably one of the longest ones for training.
Yeah.
Okay, that's me done. I will pass back over to Dietz.
Thank you very much, Ian. So we would like to leave you with the key takeaways, which will hopefully assist you. So how much will it cost not to have it? The TVision add-ons have been developed to make processes much simpler. So, for example, with the credit control notepad, you don't have to worry about who's chasing a particular client and about what. With the BACS export file, you make it simpler and faster to create a payment file, saving your team time. All the add-ons will quite simply save you time, which you can use for other value-adding activities. Pricing, training and support. So if you have Business Central SaaS, the TVision add-ons are priced on a monthly subscription with a separate implementation fee. Support is included within your monthly Business Central SaaS support pack. For NAV and Business Central on-premise clients, the add-ons are available as perpetual licenses with a maintenance fee. Please feel free to contact me after the webinar for more details on pricing. So, will the TVision add-on be affected by Business Central SaaS Wave updates? The simple answer is it won't be affected. We will thoroughly test the add-ons to ensure they continue to work, and we will continue to support all our add-ons. Lastly, talk to your account manager about what you need. We're always looking to create new add-ons, so if your requirements are not met here, please do get in touch and we can discuss your needs. If you have a suggestion for a generic add-on, please let us know and we might develop it if we can see there is a demand. So, we hope you found this webinar interesting and informative. We shall be sending out emails soon to register for the next one, and we shall also put a reminder about the webinar in our newsletter as well. Thank you for listening to the webinar, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks guys, bye.